All right, and many of the resources that you were trying to take care of, you aren't able to hold them up because it were two of you taking care of most of the bills now, right? And with you aren't able to work as much because you have class and different obligations and things like that, and teachers, bearing you down with a lot of work and stuff like that. So, is that am I getting the gist of what you have going on here and everything? And anything I missed? Anything you want to add to the situation? Anything like that?
Yeah, just like what you said, that I'm having a lot of trouble with my grades because it's so much stuff that I have to do, and I don't have enough time to work and everything because I have classes like every day and everything like that. And sometimes I have late classes, so a lot of the work time is not really that long. I have little shifts and everything, and that's not a lot to support my the whole entire apartment by myself. So it was really helpful for him to actually have that half of money so I can help pay for the apartment because I can't pay for it myself. So right now I'm just like really trying to look for another roommate, but I'm just like I'm iffy about it because I'm not really trustworthy in a lot of people, and dealing living with a lot of people. I'm the only child, so I only had my own room and stuff like that. So I'm really skeptical of people moving in with me, and I don't know where they came from or anything like that. So that's where that problem lays, finding a roommate basically. So, but when it comes to school, I feel like my professors they try to help me and everything like that, but I feel like it's just really me dealing with a lot of stuff and not being able to juggle a whole bunch of stuff at once. So now I just honestly now I just be drinking and all that stuff, and I feel like that just makes me feel better when I do that. So.
Okay. So you see they use that as more of a coping mechanism, to deal with a lot of the stresses that come along with things. Would you say a lot of your problems began when you guys separated?
Yes, honestly, because he helped me with a lot of stuff. He helped me with school. He helped me with money and everything like that. So him not being there, I think it's just him not being there is just a heartbreak thing too. It just made me feel so a certain situation, a separation of intimacy and having that foundation.
Okay, so you
of
feel
someone
I see.
being there.
I understand. So you feel as though he provided some of that foundation for you and stability in the home and things like that. Do you feel as though he supported other aspects of your life as well, like school, work, and understanding that taking on a 5-course load can sometimes be an actual job and relationships and things like that? Do you feel like he supported all of those things within your life, or was it just the needs that you guys had within the home?
I feel like that he did support me. Like I said, that he helped me with homework if I really needed it.
I see.
Yeah, so he'll help me with certain quizzes or certain writing assignments. To guide me through it sometimes because I have a difficulty concentrating and doing my work and everything. So he'll push me to do this and not drift off and do something else, or not drink or party until you get your work done. So he was that push in my life, and now that he's gone, it's who is going to help me?
More of a void you feel within your life somewhat.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, I definitely can see that, in my times in college, it was many things I had to go through to, push through. And sometimes I find myself wanting to, maybe this isn't for me, or different things like that. A lot of times when different stresses can bring forth things that you didn't know about yourself or other people as well. So as far as all the things that you've mentioned to me today, what do you feel is most important to take care of to you? I understand that all these things can affect different parts of your life, but they're all within your systems of trying to obtain your degree and do better at financially and things like that. So do you feel what problems do you think you need to take care of first in order to be able to assess every other thing that is going on within your life?
I feel like my depression and my anxiety, because if I work on my depression and my anxiety, I could do better with handling my course load and not procrastinating and being able to be more outgoing and have reaching out to other people other than my professors to help me with the work, like my classmates or something like that. That I feel like that's the biggest thing in life, because I feel like my depression, my anxiety is the reason why I don't sleep at night. And the reason why I get headaches and body aches and I just don't feel good at all. So I feel like once I get that done, I feel that I could do anything else.
Okay.
But it's something I just don't understand why I'm having a lot of episodes of just feeling depressed and sad and all the time.
Okay. But do you feel like, what do you feel influences this depression and anxiety? Is it more so the relationship? Do you feel like, well, if you mended it or found some type of clarification, there would be less depression and anxiety, so you could focus more on other obligations that you have? Or you feel like other things that you mentioned to me, that they influence these things, or like if you took care of another aspect, it could void out something else?
Honestly, I just feel like it's more so my support system. Yeah.
More than anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like it's my support system.
So your feeling of loneliness just eggs on more of the depression and things like that.
I can't handle it on my own and everything like that.
Okay.
And I feel like my support system will like guide me and be my motivation to actually finish.
All right. Well, I understand that, and I've taken down a lot of the things that you mentioned to us, to me today. I'm sorry, and I think we should develop some different plans, different goals and things like that to get you better working within your environment and things you want to do and things like that. All right. So, well, I'm gonna offer you some of the goals that I think would be necessary, and that's if you feel like there's any changes that need to be made or something you want to make different, just let me know, things like that, okay? So I know the first thing you say you want to do is lessen your depression and anxiety, and get more financially stable, find a roommate, lessen your expenses and things like that, okay? And I also remember you mentioning that you, as a stress reliever, you did a lot of some drinking and things like that. Are there any other, before I go any further, are there any other, stress relievers that you use to sort of calm the stress or things like that?
Well, church.
Church? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like church helped me and was very supportive of me.
Okay.
So I feel like that kind of helped me.
And then within the church, do you have any relationships? Do you just go just to hear the word, praise, or anything like that? Is there anyone specific that you're drawn to within the church?
I feel like the word is the most, because I can relate it to my life.
Okay.
And I feel like, the connections with pastors and actually going up to them and like giving them my testimony, they could give more advice to me and send me prayers. I feel like that uplifts me and let me know that I could do it. But I just feel like in addition with the pastor, I need more support, because they could say that and they could pray for me inside the church, but who is going to help me outside the church?
I understand. Okay. All right. So, I think we should let the positive things within your life remain constant, as opposed to, changing some things, and then saying anything that can, make you feel like yourself, we should involve within your life. Because I'm identifying a lot of strength I see within you too. A lot of people are afraid to come see others for consultation, things like that, because they feel as though they aren't doing anything right, But the fact that you're stressing over, school and your relationship, things like that, shows you have a heart and you care for your future and you're willing to invest in yourself. And then a lot of people don't have those things, and it's good to, be able to obtain that. And as far as some more goals, I wanted to talk with you. Do you feel as though you need to change the way your intake of alcohol is, or anything like that? Do you feel like it needs to lessen to help you, or anything like that? Or do you think that it's something that helps you relieve whatever goes through your mind throughout the day?
I feel like drinking just made me forget everything. And just for like a little period of time, I feel like it makes me forget everything. It makes me feel better about myself and give me that sort of like high lift. But I feel like sometimes when I drink, it distracts me from what I really should be doing.
Okay. All right.
So sometimes I feel like it should be lessened, even though like I'm of age of drinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm of age of drinking, so I could drink like when I don't have work or just for like recreation.
Recreational use. Okay.
And not all the time just
Yeah.
because I'm stressed out. I shouldn't use that as
Yeah.
a mechanism, but it feels so good.
I understand. I understand. Believe me. And so if you didn't have so many stressors within your life, do you feel as though you would still behave that way, or use that as an outlet, as a stress reliever? If you weren't going through so many things, would you still be drinking as much?
I feel like no. I feel like it's just like, oh, I need a drink, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of
When you've
like,
had a long day.
yeah, I had a long
Okay.
day. I need something to relieve my stress or relieve something that I'm feeling.
Okay, okay. So, as for one thing we've pointed out is your relationship and your drinking, and you find good things within the church and your expenses and things like that. So, as far as steps toward getting these things out of the way, what do you feel would be the first step toward getting a good lessening your depression and anxiety and things like that? What would be the first thing you need to take care of to start your progression in your process?
The first thing,
Yes.
myself
Yourself? So just finding more self-understanding
and
stuff.
self-love
Self-love and stuff like that. Okay.
and being like taking care of myself and recognizing like don't pushing myself so hard or taking myself for granted because I'm here for a reason.
I understand.
So I feel like that's the first step before you do anything. I feel like you have to love yourself before you love anybody else or do anything else.
Okay, all right. Well, I think there are a few resources that we could actually get you into to find a lot of those so things within yourself that you once loved and knew and things like that. All right. We actually provide here at the UCC. We have a alcoholic beverage abuse class that for students and things like that that work around your schedule, your work schedule, your classes, your advising meetings, whatever such things like that. So whatever you have that is free, you can give us your schedule and they'll set up. It's only one class every week. It's set up for about 5 to 6 weeks, and it'll take care of anything you need as far as crisis intervention, things like that. They have a line you can call and things like that. All right. And
do you think any of those services will actually really help me? Because like I know like services out there, but sometimes they don't really help people. So
I do believe so. They're very hands-on. They're a lot of different AA things that you may have heard about, where it's just people in groups and stuff like that. They actually have different coordinators that go with you throughout different aspects of your life. Go see what your work environment is like and what is actually influences you doing these behaviors. They go with you and identify exactly what's going on when you do drink and the things you say when you are intoxicated. They contact some of you, if you're willing to, of course. They assess a lot of the behaviors you have within your family and stuff like that. Anything that's comfortable. It's more of a touching and hands-on approach, as opposed to be here at a certain time and talk about your feelings. So I do think it's very beneficial, and I think it'll help you out a lot. Is there something you feel like you'd be interested in?
I can give it a try.
Yeah, I think you should, and I'll definitely put this down on our action plan so we can figure out what the next step in contacting, getting a good day, good time for you, and things like that. All right, and after that, I want to talk about what it is you feel like you need to do as the reference to this void you feel in your life. I know a lot of times our relationships can, go through spurts of on and off again things, like we love each other, we hate each other type things. As a relationship, is this a reoccurring thing that you guys, have separation issues and, things are back and forth and things like that?
But we've been separated for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is like, definite now.
Mm-hmm. So it's just
I feel like it's definite, and like I feel like I'm really like shy when it comes to talking about my intimacy and sexual stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like I need like some of that attention,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. I need a support in that different way.
Okay, so
You know, it's different from having friends
yeah,
or a church
Yeah.
or a professor.
someone for you.
Someone is for me, like
Yeah.
that's going to comfort me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in my time of need. So when I have those episodes, somebody could just be with me and let me know that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Our spouses provide a different, you know, they can just be there on a different level than our friends can. You know, our friends have a lot of barriers, you know, things they can't say and things like that. But, you know, the person you've been with for such a long time, you shared things that you probably never told anyone. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so you definitely feel like this is the end of the cycle. Like you guys, I know sometimes people go through efforts where they miss people, or maybe you've contacted him or he's contacted you. So in event that he tries to come back in your life and, you know, comes back within the home and to help you with all the expenses that have brought you into this situation, do you feel as though you would let him back in, you know, let things be good again, or will you just, you know, tell him to go on about his way? How do you feel like you would handle a reunion of the situation?
I feel like it would be too much for me to
Mhm.
actually take in and then have it all happen again.
Okay.
Because I feel like it will be like a double depression. I'll just go deeper in depression. Because like, oh, I thought I had it under control, but now I don't. And you slept through my fingers like you just played me.
Yeah, I understand. And
You
have
know?
you tried to invest in anyone else around campus or around your job that you find interesting or feel attracted to or anything like that?
No, because like, cause I don't know, cause I'm really like worried about how I look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really like, cause you know, since I've been depressed and I have anxiety, I've been overeating like a lot, and I haven't been like looking presentable on campus because I've just been so like cramped and I feel like I've been in a different type of mood. I just don't care about myself and care what I look like and everything. And I feel like who's gonna really look at me and be attracted to me and I look like this.
I see. So you think a lot of your emotions and your current mental state is affecting your appearance and things like that.
Mm.
Okay, I understand. And you say you tend to eat a little bit more when you're feeling in these type of moods. Like you try to use that as a stress reliever along with the drinking and stuff like that. Okay. I understand that. Do you feel as though it's become a habitual thing, like you eat overly more meals a day, or is it more of an intake during each meal? Is it still lunch, dinner, you know, maybe breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or is it just more calorie intake, or you multiple meals a day?
I feel like it's just multiple meals. I just be like, oh, I just need to eat, and I just let me get a snack or something. You know, I just eat a lot of sweets and a lot of just a lot of protein
I
and
see.
all that stuff, and all of that, you know, that makes me gain weight because I don't have a fast immune system. I mean, what's it called? I forgot, but you know, I gain weight.
Yeah, I understand metabolism.
Yes, that's what I
you're
meant.
fine.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
That's what I meant.
You are just fine. All right. Well, I think we can also help you with those too. You know, the UCC is not just a counseling services. We like to be hands-on in helping our clients and students, you know, go through the different things within our lives. So what we're going to do is, along with this action plan, you know, provide the different resources that we have on campus. We're going to actually write out the time frame, you know, which we would like to meet again and things like that. All right. So I know you said that you're worried about the semester and, you know, your different class grades and things like that. All of the things we've identified as influencing that. So do you feel as though it would be a good idea for us to figure out a day during the week that we could meet ourselves and, you know, for the rest of the semester to assess and go through all your different processes and, you know, review your action steps and make sure everything is going on all right on my end and your end?
I think that would be good.
You think it would be with your work schedule and class schedule?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot going on with me. So I think like around this time that we usually we're meeting right now, that would be a good time because, you know, I told you that I was falling behind.
Yeah.
And,
So
you know, it's like to the point where I may not graduate, like if I don't take like summer classes.
Okay, I understand. So about Tuesdays at about, let's say 5 p.m. For the next, let's see, the semesters are probably about 6, 7 more weeks. So the next 7 weeks, at 5 p.m. we're gonna meet here on campus at the University Center. Would that be fine?
Yes, that's fine.
All right. And between sessions, we're just gonna go over any, social worker responsibilities, client responsibilities, anything like that. We're gonna review all the action steps I just talked about, talk about your progress and things like that. Okay, so just summarizing a lot of the content, we've gone over your different social systems with your family and your different stressors as far as educational, your work life, and things like that. Okay, and we also go over the way you relieve some of this stress, and you're drinking, you're doing a little overeating and stuff like that, and it's gaining weight, and it's affecting the way you feel about yourself, and different people around campus and things like that. Okay, so as far as your social life, I know you say you don't have many friends, but do you feel as though more involvement on campus, or looking into anything like that, could improve some of your social and that loneliness? So you feel as though
I feel like I'm really talkative and everything, so I could get more involved on campus, but I feel like my academics is first. So I feel like if I do like overwhelm myself with more things, I feel like it'll just drag my grades down more. But I am willing to regain my friends, like the connection with my friends and everything. Maybe they can help me.
Okay, all right, I like that. And what I was going to mention to you next is this self-love and esteem class that we also offer. It's just after the time that we meet here, so just before, if you were looking into it, we could, after we meet here, you can go straight into the class. They actually allow you to bring different friends and stuff like that. If you find any friends within your life that want to go with you, they offer workshops with loving yourself and finding that niche that brought you to the university, or finding different aspirations to invest more into yourself and things like that. Okay, and any people that you're having problems with, that's welcome to come. Like I said, your friends and your father, who you said doesn't really understand a lot of the things you have going on, and stingy with helping you out sometimes. Okay, and as far as advising and representing you, when we talk to these different resources, like when I send off these referrals to the Self-Love Center, and getting you into some alcoholism classes and things like that, it will be mine and your name on there. So when they do, feel free to contact us. And any interaction between you guys, I will represent you and make sure everything's on the up and up and things like that, as far as scheduling, cancellations, or anything like that. All right. And as far as pointing out some of the inconsistencies I see going on, I do believe that we need to take care of the void that you feel at home. A lot of times when you're alone and things like that, you find ways to beat yourself up, and feel as though you're not doing a lot of things right and things like that. So what I do want to advise you is, when you're feeling things like that, just imagine a lot of the good things that you are doing. A lot of people aren't able to obtain jobs and, even get into college and things like that. So you are doing a lot of things that some people are remain impossible. And just never try to completely beat yourself up in a way that isn't really healthy to the mind in the situation that you're currently in. All right. And is there anything that we've covered in this time that doesn't, that isn't really to your liking, or some things you want to add, anything you forgot to mention, or something like that?
Is the group session, that's the only time that they meet? Is it possible that can happen on the weekends or anything like that?
Yeah,
or some things on the weekends that, because I got a busy schedule. So is it any possible?
Yeah, we have Saturday meetings as well. They don't have to offer any on Sundays because they're closed, and a lot of the social workers are they're either doing religious things or doing a lot of in-home intervention and things like that. But both of them do offer Saturday morning 10 a.m. classes. They do 10 a.m., 12 a.m., and 2 p.m. Classes. So you can choose 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or 2 o'clock for both of those, whichever if you want a 2-hour break, or if you want to go right into things so you feel more involved. I actually recommend that you do them back to back, so it feels as more of a interactive process. You know, a lot of times people, you know, they get a little, when they find that space in between, they try and not maybe come back or miss a few days or something like that. You know, not to say that that would be the case, but a lot of times when we just do things back to back, it creates more of an involved feeling, and you know, it's kind of like classes. You know, you see what I'm saying?
And that's only for self-esteem?
Yeah, so we have that, and for the substance abuse classes as well.
Do you have anything for like tutoring wise?
Tutoring wise, we
Or
do.
like helping with essays and work, so I could be on track and know what I have to do?
Yeah, we do work with the portfolio studio and the academic department over here in Harris, or in Harris Hall. I'm sure you're familiar with Harris Hall. Any advising you need as far as, you know, your papers or your research analysis proposals and things like that, they help with that. They, as far as before you turn them in, they'll help you go over them, get anything that they feel, you know, needs to be worked on and things like that. They help you with upcoming assignments. You can give them a copy of your syllabus. And if there's any mathematical things, we work with the Hunter Mac in the math department. They can help you, give your name of your advisor. They'll do a full class schedule with you, even help you register your classes as far as scheduling that would be best for you, the way you work. I know you said with you having to work, and because of the different expenses that you have and the class load, that it can sometimes interfere when you have to study and find the time to do different things within your life. I think that is something we could add to our list of things to look out for. All right.
Do you have any suggestions of what I could do for how to better like do time management?
Time management?
Yeah, and better like sort my life so I won't be overwhelmed?
Yes, I do believe that you should first partialize and figure out with yourself what is most important to you and what bothers you the most if you don't have it taken care of. And assess everything you have to do as far as work, school, and home life. Now, one thing I will make very pivotal to you, that you have to give yourself some type of free time, whether it's an hour or an hour and a half throughout the day. You have to have time to yourself, being able to clear your head. So when we try to deal with things back to back to back, we can become overwhelmed, and you feel as though things are never going to end. You can get those feelings of giving up. It's too much on your plate. You have to have some time to yourself to be able to figure out what's next and what's going to help you and things like that. Whether it be a day of the week, you figure out you get your due dates right, you get all your homework done. Just try to take care of whatever you can tell at the moment, at that time. Because you're only one person, you can only take care of one task at a time. When you try to do multiple things and dwell on multiple things, you're gonna have multiple different problems. And you can turn to forget things and things like that. Just try to remember that, when you're feeling alone and things like that, there is different resources you can talk to. I'm going to give you my card and things like that. If there's anything you feel like you need help with planning, you can give me a call. And I know the advisors in the social work department, they're willing to help you with any problems you have. I know they're very busy with their different classes. I haven't, the middle semester, they have things to grade and things like that. But as long as you just utilize all the resources that you have outside, and just try not to be so isolated and so passive with things and stuff like that. Does that sound like things that you can get into?
Yes.
All right. But I think we've had a pretty good confrontation as far as assessing the things you need to do. And like I said, we'll be meeting on Tuesdays for the next 7 weeks for the remaining of the semester. And we're going to do a self-appraisal at the end of that. So if you feel like you've accomplished many of your goals, if you need to change some of your goals, if we need to meet throughout the winter into the next semester, I think it would all go well for us, and we'll be able to figure out what needs to be fixed, and we need a few more tweaks and stuff like that. So Tuesdays at 6 p.m. is fine with you?
5 p.m. 5
p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, 5 p.m. That would work. And the 10 a.m. schedules for your substance abuse classes and different, I'll be contacting all of them, Hunter Mag, the math department, and things like that. So as far as your, one thing I want to add also is your nutrition. Is there, do you feel like you need to see any type of, dietary things to figure out what it is bothering, that could be bothering you as far as the weight gain or anything like that?
Honestly, I feel like that is something I need to handle myself and with my doctor.
Your doctor, okay.
To see like what ways, how many ways I could like, you know, lose weight, and basically me exercising and you know, limiting the amount of intake and proportional sizes. So I feel like that's something I need to take care of myself, because nobody could stop me from eating.
I understand.
You know.
I understand. And I think that is a good idea, not just for the dietary reasons, because you mentioned some of the headaches and backaches that you had, you know, things like that. A lot of those could be influenced, not just by things we think we're going through, but it could be some of our intake processes, you know, the ways we wake up, or it could be the loss of sleep is why you're having so many pains and things like that. Our body needs to be rested.
All right. Sometimes, does it have to do with my depression and anxiety?
I think so. You know, if you wake up in the same state, you could be going through any dreams or anything that you may not even remember, you know, and a doctor could fully assess more of the medical things. They do a lot more tests to figure out if there's anything physical going on, just to be safe. You know, you can never be so safe with the resources that you have around campus and everything. And we actually, I know you know about the doctor on campus that you can go see and get full checkups on, get blood taken, all of that.
Okay.
You know, as far as, you know, past relationships, and I know you're not too fond about talking about your intimacy or things like that, but I think put with somebody in a more professional medical state will put you in a more comfortable position. You think we could send a referral over to point you with them?
Yes.
Okay. Well, between here and our next session, I'll be contacting them and the university doctor, and let you know with any follow-ups, and I'll ask you for your email. We have your email on file from the intake session you first had in the lobby, and we'll be emailing you with any updates or any change of dates or anything you need like that. All right?
Okay.
All right. It was a pleasure meeting with you.
Pleasure to meet with you.
All right. You have a good one. Okay.
All right.
All right.